Welcome to Y'all Need Help, where we read your relationship posts and offer our advice. I'm Letters.
And this is OffMeta, and we've been in a healthy, stable relationship for 12 years now, and we want to make sure that everybody else can get to where we are. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
My 32-year-old male girlfriend, 30-year-old female, basically uses the entire house, and it's getting on my last nerve. The title is exactly how it sounds. Every day I have to move around her and her activities with no real chance to enjoy our place too. My office? Oh no, you can't have that space anymore. I'm going to make it into a room for my nieces. The living room? Oh no, my niece is going to use that as her second playground and put toys everywhere. Our bedroom? Oh no, I'm going to use that as my office while we work from home so you can't come in here and take a quick nap. I peek in at 9 a.m. when she is supposed to be working and she's sleeping. She literally sleeps all day when she is supposed to be working with her computer and paperwork spread out all over the bed, so I can't go and lay down on my lunch breaks. My job is extremely stressful and I can't step away for a break because I literally have nowhere to go because she is everywhere. So I'm confined to one area of the house all day and it is driving me crazy. I'm starting to fantasize about having my own space and being alone. I can't even take a break in my own house because my girlfriend takes over the house with no regard to anyone else. Sorry to rant, I'm just over it all.
So at first, we weren't even going to talk about this one because it's pretty cut and dry that she is more invested in her nieces and taking care of them than she is in this relationship. But then we started reading through some of the comments, and there's a lot that this guy doesn't say that I get why he didn't say it. It's actually because it makes him seem absolutely terrible.
It just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, and it's not in a way that you might think. It's not that this woman is some benevolent caregiver or anything like that. It turns out that basically she's just using him for a place to stay. One of the things that he mentioned later after a little bit of prodding through the other commenters is that while she does take care of, while she does help him with the rent and everything, she barely is able to do it. Meaning he pays more, and then on top of his paying his share of the rent, he also pays for everything besides the rent, like laundry, any food that comes up, any entertainment items, he pays for everything. As I was reading through the comments, I noticed that people kept bringing up, okay, well, what about this expense? And what about that expense? And he kept mentioning, oh, I pay for that. And I pay for this too. And I pay for the third. And it's become really apparent that she's just with this dude because he pays for her and he's got a place that he doesn't even need. Another thing that he mentions is he makes enough at his job to where he could break up with her, downsize, and still be completely financially fine. We're going to go over one comment that he mentions later that when I read it, I was like, oh, this is the answer. This actually makes everything clear. But the main thing I wanted to talk about with this is what happens when you essentially don't have a backbone. It's something really weird that I've noticed with a lot of younger guys where they feel bad about telling their girlfriends or some of them are married, unfortunately, and they have wives. They feel bad about telling them that they're unhappy with a situation. And for the life of me, I cannot figure out why anybody does this, but I can't figure out why young men specifically are doing this. I mean, you can get out of your relationship and yeah, it'll take time to find another girlfriend, but you have plenty of time at these ages. It drives me absolutely insane that there seems to be two main categories of young guys who won't talk about their feelings with their partner. And when I say talk about your feelings, I'm not talking about, oh, I'm sad or this is upsetting to me. I mean, just straight up telling her, hey, I'm not happy with this situation. We need to fix this. Or I should say, we are going to fix this and this is why. It seems to be split into two groups. There's the guys who won't do it because I don't even know how to actually say what I'm thinking or what I'm seeing. They think that it makes them abusers if they explain to their partners, hey, I don't like this situation. Let's fix this. And that seems to be the most common. That's the thing that drives me absolutely insane. I don't know who needs to hear this, but I hope you're listening. Not being happy with the situation does not make you some kind of abuser. It doesn't make you controlling. It just means, for instance, in this situation, she's taking up all the damn space. She's taking up his space. There is no real reason why she should be doing this. And he should be okay with telling her, look, you can't do this. I'm taking my room back. put your niece somewhere else, or, let's get a bigger place, since one of the things that they mentioned in the comments is that they're taking care of these girls. I think it was every week? Or was it every other week or something like that?
It was like 5 days a week.
Yeah, it's almost like a babysitting gig, but they're not getting paid. AKA, he is also kind of being used by her family, a little bit by extension.
Yeah, eventually they finally said, no, we're not taking the kids anymore, and had them at their real parents for a week. And that's how they finally got them to start paying for food for the kids.
Only food, by the way.
Only food.
They're not paying them like, hey, here's the money for basically raising my children for me.
Yeah.
Which is absurd. But the second group is also, I don't know which one's worse. I don't understand where this all is coming from. There's just definitely some kind of weird change that I've only noticed recently. But there are these guys who just, I think the word that we're using now is non-confrontational.
Mm.
They don't want to do anything to get their own happiness. It's like they expect, it's this really weird thing where they expect their girlfriends to read their mind and just recognize that they're upset. And it's weird because I feel like that used to be more of a feminine thing where men would complain about women doing the whole mind reading thing.
Yeah.
And now for some reason, young men are doing it. And I'm completely thrown off as to what is making these changes. But this guy is definitely leaning towards, I would say, pattern number 2, where he kind of talks to her about it, but he doesn't explicitly say, hey, look, we're making this change because I'm unhappy. If you don't like it, then we need to have a second serious conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, is that he feels like bringing up his feelings about it is enough, but they never actually reach a compromise. They just do what she wants to do anyway. And it's like, no, if it's a relationship, you have to actually reach a compromise or break up, because he can't just keep on being unhappy. I mean, I guess he can keep being unhappy. It's his choice, but it's not a smart choice.
He sounds like a bit of a walkover. I wanted to bring up this comment specifically because it threw me off. I don't understand how anyone, specifically men, live like this. So he says, crazy thing is I just said something about her taking up the room. She said, buy me an office chair and I will get out of the room. I told her to buy her own. I then tell her it's not okay that she takes up the entire room, and she just says, oh well, the heck. Censoring for YouTube. Dude, I just lost it. I told her if she doesn't respect my needs, she needs to get her own stuff. I'm just going to start looking for a place to stay. I can easily get another apartment. This is too much. Again, why isn't he telling her this? Number one, or actually, let me slow down and take a step back. Why isn't he just taking back his space? Number one. Number two, according to him, a different comment. I wanted to grab some of them, but it was literally been like 30 comments to finally get the full story from this guy. She has enough money to get her own stuff, but you can see that even in his question of, hey, can you stop taking up the space, is, will you buy me something first and then I'll start doing what I'm supposed to do? That's a huge sign of someone who wants to do transactional arrangements, and you don't want that as a man.
You don't want it as a woman either.
I'm sorry, yeah, you don't want that as a person. I'm trying to think of a nice way to say it, but like, I'll say, if you start doing transactional agreements, those tend to be the guys who complain about those same transactional agreements entering their bedroom. I'll say it that way. This needs to be shut down right away, because your partner should be doing what's best for the relationship, not just for themselves. And if you notice this pattern early, you need to get out. Well, let me rephrase that. You need to either be strong enough to put your foot down and get them to fix it, or if you're like this guy where he kind of started on the path and then it seems like he just quit, you need to get out. And you need to find somebody who's, I think agreeable is the word I'm looking for, right? Mm-hmm. Someone who's a little bit more giving. I honestly think that even with these partners that are sometimes a bit more difficult, if you're a person who's a bit more headstrong, you can deal with their nonsense. Mm-hmm. But if you're not that kind of person, you need to leave and find somebody who's a bit softer.
Yeah, and I think that it's also kind of crazy that it's his apartment, and he's like, well, I can get another one. It's his apartment. He did mention in the comments that his lease is up in a couple of months, and so it just seems easier to just not re-sign the lease and get a new place versus getting all the crap out, all the niece's crap and the girlfriend's crap and stuff out of the house. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense from that perspective, but he must have liked that apartment at some point when he got it.
Maybe before the nieces showed up. I don't know. They seem to have to pull. There's a phrase that I'm trying to think. Pull teeth. Getting info from this guy is like pulling teeth. It seems like.
But it's like he won't even keep the apartment and kick her out. That's how non-confrontational he is.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. I mean, this one's kind of open and shut. It's kind of obvious. He needs to grow a spine first, but he should probably just leave this girl, get a smaller place, or, I mean, I keep saying, or excuse me, I keep thinking he needs to get a smaller place. He doesn't. He just needs to tell her to leave. Everything is in his name. Re-sign the lease without her name on it. Tell her to get out. It's kind of obvious.
Yeah, because he can afford the place by himself. Because right now he is paying, the majority of the rent, and he's saving. He said in the comments. So
sorry to cut in, but not just the majority of the rent. He's paying a majority of the rent, food, entertainment, and any I believe the word I'm trying to think of is spontaneous things that come up.
Yeah, like discretionary spending.
Discretionary. Thank you. That's the word. He's paying all the discretionary spending on top of the rent.
Yeah.
So it's like, he definitely has enough, and he's saving on top of that.
Yeah. But it bothered me so much that he presented the problem as, my girlfriend won't give me any space, I just need space, and not, my girlfriend doesn't respect me, which is
that's it.
What is the root of the problem.
That's it.
And maybe that's why he came to the internet unable to solve his own problem.
He comes to the internet, yells into the void, and he got somewhat lucky. He got lucky. He got the part of Reddit that is actually giving him sound advice and isn't trying to paint him as, you don't want to take care of the kids or some nonsense like that. I was really worried when I first read this. I was like, oh God, they're going to try to make it so that they're going to say that he should be worried about taking care of the kids that aren't his.
And I'll admit, when I first started reading the comments and the top comments were like, dude, just leave her, I was like, oh, are they overreacting? He just needs to have a conversation with her and express his needs. And then reading more, it's like, I've had multiple conversations about this. She disrespected me to my face. Mm-hmm. She says to buy me things in order to get and it's like, oh yeah.
So I think we're in agreement here that this is just kind of open and shut case, but it was just more that I wanted to read the comments and also just put out there. I don't know who needs to hear this. I don't know why people are doing this to themselves. If your partner is doing something you don't like, you need to speak up. And second off, if it is a deal breaker, let it be a deal breaker and just go find a new partner, for God's sakes. This is getting so crazy, and there's so many people out there messing around with deal breakers at a young age. It's like, you're 22, 23, 24. Stop pretending like you have to get married today to somebody who's treating you poorly. Put your foot down, fix the problem, or put your foot down and leave. I think it's as simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah, people are willing to settle too hard,
too quickly, and it's like they're not even getting. There's no benefit to this guy, as far as I can tell. Other than, I get to say I have a girlfriend, but he sounds miserable anyway.
He did say in the comments that she was very good in bed, and that seems like the one thing.
And he's an idiot. I gotta go over another video about that. That's dudes who think like, oh my God, this girl's amazing in bed. You're wrong and you're stupid. Just stop.
There's more to life.
There's more to life, and again, they're wrong. You don't. We're gonna get into that later. This is just it boggles my mind when men say stupid stuff like that. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you have a good evening, good night. Oh wait, they don't know when we're taping this. Good day, I'll say.
Yeah.
Make sure to leave a comment and let us know what you think about this situation. How would you handle it if this was your girlfriend and she was bringing over nieces and taking up your office and all your free space? Drop a comment down below. Don't forget to like, subscribe so you can get either some more of this or some of my Call of Duty gameplay. Going to be releasing a phenomenal video on Monday, and I hope to see you there.